So there's a practice I've been doing the last, I don't know, maybe year, and I've had just the funnest, best output. So I'm hoping you get as much out of this. So I'm going to use a case study to work on this from, but it could be any of the topics any of you raised. So the case study was we had an organization and they put in a daily management. It involved Gemba walks and then routed to a daily board. And then they had the daily meeting where they would include the output of the Gemba walks. So that was the process they tried to put in. Did a nice job getting started. Everything looked good. As time went on, here were the issues. The Gemba walks lacked the desired level of engagement. It's like people were walking around. It was like, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what we do now. We do it from 8:30 to 8:45, and they were just walking around. And leadership was a little bit unsure what to do about that. There was also a lot of concerns between the boards and the walks about the new idea processing approach. People were really concerned that the ideas weren't getting tracked well, wouldn't all get handled. People could get, where they had given you the idea and it wasn't well carried out. So they used a process we call empathy-based improvement, and then they also did more standardization. So they standardized that walk. So once they got some better practices, they made sure there was literally a laminated sheet that would tell all the people on the walk what a standard walk looks like, feels like, and sounds like. So they wanted to make it so that everybody could follow along. But here's the process when it comes to designing the experience. Here's what they did. So for some of you, this may be new. This maybe it's not. This is the idea of designing the experience. And so the continuous improvement team took a look at what was happening for the Gemba walk. So they looked at four key places: the gathering at the board, when they walked the floor, how those ideas came up and were processed, and then the closeout of that meeting. For you, you could apply this to any of the examples. If it was a training, what happens in the training? If it's a dojo, what are key points as the dojo forms and what happens? So you come up with what they're doing, and then you ask yourself from an empathy point of view, what are they likely thinking, feeling, and saying? And we do this as a team, and it's not a perfect science, but actually most of us have a pretty good idea. Now, in this example, they started to see most people were gathering and not knowing much about what was going to happen about the walk. They noticed people, they said their sense was a lot of them felt nervous if this was new. They had a sense that people, when they were out walking the floor, that they could tell people are kind of looking at, what are you doing here? So the people on the walk are wondering, how do they feel about us? There's a little typo here. They felt curious and concerned. So they noticed there was kind of a mixed feelings, and what they're saying, you'll often see what people say has nothing to do with their thinking and feelings. So we have to use more of our empathy skills and other skills to get a sense of what's happening. And again, in processing ideas, they started to realize, based upon things people had said, they think that we're not going to get them done. And they said the feeling there is skepticism. And as they closed out, they said some people are walking away like they can just tell they're not sure if that whole thing, what came out of it. And some might be leaving feeling frustrated and confused. The two pieces at the bottom are the critical piece of empathy mapping is you look for opportunities to improve and where are the moments that matter. And as they said, they could say, well, there was obviously the start and the end were important, and also whenever the ideas were captured was important to them. They got more clear what they wanted a Gemba walk to be like. What was the experience they were looking for? Well, they were looking for leaders to feel more in touch with work that's going on and practicing their skills at how they relate to people. And they realized they put the whole thing together for Gemba walks, and it really wasn't capturing that experience that they were out to create. That's where that handout had a lot of messaging around how to conduct themselves and what the purpose is and how to go about doing that. They also put in this PDCA cycle, weekly follow-up, so people would continue to examine what's happening and how to improve it, because they realized it just wasn't, too few and far between wasn't going to get them where they wanted to be. So that's an example. I have to tell you that empathy mapping is super, super powerful and can be used in all